And welcome here to Talk SCB and welcome to Clasico week. Today is Monday and on Saturday we have the biggest game in world football. Live from the Santiago Bernabeu, it's Barcelona against Real Madrid, and we're going to have all the talk and all the lowdown on everything in the build-up to that game, which is going to be an absolute cracker between two of the world's best teams. Now, first of all, I'm going to be going through different videos on matchups, on lineups, on injury problems, on the managers, on the tactics, and today we're going to be talking about the two managers. Carlo Ancelotti and Luis Enrique will both be in the dugout overseeing El Clasico from the bench, and they'll be making the big calls on who starts and who doesn't, and also big substitutions which would impact the game when it's going on. But if we look at sort of the experience, the temperament of both the managers, Carlo Ancelotti is known as this big manager. He's had a lot of experience in a lot of different leagues. He's been around for a lot longer than Luis Enrique, and he's had a lot of experience in high-pressured matches. Having said that, in the three Clásicos last season, he only managed to win one of them, and that was due to the brilliance of Gareth Bale's solo goal. And in the other two Clásicos in the league, he lost both of them. And also, in the first Clasico of that season, he was known for putting Sergio Ramos in midfield to sort of stop Messi, which didn't work at all. So, in that game, Carlo Ancelotti tried to, tinker with something a bit different. He tried to change his tactics to suit Barcelona. Rather than going out and putting his team out to beat us, he'd rather put his team out to try and nullify us, which is very, very interesting. Carlo Ancelotti, I sense, will do something like that on Saturday. I think he will set his team up more to stop us, rather than to go and use their talent and try and beat us. So it's going to be interesting to see what he got. Luis Enrique has never been involved in a Clasico as a manager. Of course, as a player, he competed in many of them, a former Real Madrid and Barcelona player. The good thing with that is Luis Enrique probably won't feel any pressure. In the terms of course, in the lead up to the game, you'll feel massive pressure in terms of, we've got to go and win this. But in terms of, the build-up, he's not got any history in the Clasico as a manager. He doesn't know what it's like yet. So he's going to go into it with an open mind. He's going to be very, very creative. And he's going to stick to what he believes in. Luis Enrique is a manager that no matter what the game, no matter what the circumstances, he'll stick to his guns. He'll play his best players. He won't mind upsetting someone and leaving them out the lineup if they're not good enough to play. And he's going to have some big, big decisions on his hands. It's going to be interesting to see how Luis Enrique handles the big occasion. Personally, I think he's going to handle it brilliantly. I think he'll make key decisions. He'll be very, very bold in his team selection. If a substitution needs to be made as the game's going on, he won't hesitate to do it. We've seen him put the likes of Munir and Sandro on. Of course, the biggest call for him is whether to start or not Luis Suarez, but we'll be coming on to that a bit later on. But certainly in terms of the managers coming up against each other, Carlo Ancelotti will be coming into this game as the superior manager with more games under his belt. He had a brilliant season last season, winning the Copa del Rey and the Champions League La Decima. But in terms of this season, there has been some, worrying times for Real Madrid. They lost 4-2 to Real Sociedad after taking the lead 2-0, which was a very worrying game for them. It shows they can concede goals. They do concede goals from set pieces as well, probably worse than we are conceding from set pieces. Luis Enrique, on the other hand, has had some very, very positive results, but he's also had some shocks as well. PSG comes to mind, it was a poor result there. We conceded 3 goals, our first goals conceded of the season, and there are things to work on. And both managers will be looking at their squad and they'll be thinking, things aren't perfect at the moment, but we need to just make sure we get through this match. We've got to make sure that we set our teams up in the right way, and we've got to make sure that we, make it count on the pitch. And there's going to be some very, very big decisions, and we're going to be hearing about those a lot in the next few days. But in terms of the two managers up against each other, this is how it's going to look. It's going to be a very, very even tie. It's going to be a very, very feisty tie. But certainly going into the game, these two managers are going to have a very, very big say on what is going to be a very, very big match. So stay tuned for all the Clasico updates right here on Talk SCB. We're going to have a lot more coming up throughout the week. Lots of different videos bringing you guys. Stay tuned for that, and I'll see you very soon. Visca el Barça!
Barça! Barça!